Welcome back to Arch's Garage, and we're with a Husqvarna all-wheel drive. That's 4 wheels driven with this little motor, overhead valve motor. This is a newer version of the overhead valve, and there is another version that's bigger, and I didn't like that one much either. And so what's wrong with this thing? Look how clean. I got it clean already, right? It wasn't really that dirty. Underneath was. I'm hanging the stuff over there like I usually do. So we got it pretty clean. I just dug it out of storage. And this has no compression. Okay. So it's a fairly common problem. Motor turns over nice and easy. What happens is that the valves get stuck. Now, when they get carbonized, they won't seat. Is this the moment of truth? There's only 4 bolts that hold this head on. What just fell? Yeah, that. Alright. It's not a problem. Okay. Looks good. Alright. We'll check the valves by pulling them out. Okay. And then we'll put valve grinding compound and we'll spin it. We'll lap it. This side of the gasket looks real good. Okay. And it just came right off, so I don't think there's anything wrong with this gasket. We need to retorque. We need to clean and retorque. Alright guys, let's take a look. So I got the valves out, and there's just a little bit of carbon schmutz on this intake. They're very, very light springs. The way the springs come off is there's a keyway in there, so you just turn it till where it's easy to, and then it hooks in, where it's easy to kind of push the spring out, keep her out of the way. Just do it with your fingers. So there's the intake valve, right, and there's the exhaust, and I know you guys can't probably see it, but we're going to run a lap on this. I'm going to clean them up with the wire wheel. Now the seats don't look too bad. I know you can't really see it. It's not something that this camera will pick up, but this one's definitely carbonized, and there's a little bit of schmutz on there. It doesn't take much, alright, before it won't seal, because there's no spring pressure. It actually bent this stem here. Now that's no good because it'll crack. It's probably hardened. So I'm going to look through my inventory. I'll show you. We're going to do the valves. We're going to find another head, because they probably have another motor. Alright, we're going to look through our inventory and find one, a stud for one. But this one's bent. Okay. This is the original one. Oh, look at the difference. And even these had problems. That's why this head's off. Big difference. Okay. And they were pinned here. And the bolts were spread a little bit different. Better motor. Alright, I have another one like that that needs service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find another head, because this machine is worth fixing. So I'm going to go suit up because it's cold out. Let me go find another motor. What do you think? Alright, doesn't that look nice? It's nice and clean. It's been checked and serviced. And we're now ready to put it back together again. So let's use the pull starter. Let's see how it works. Hopefully it'll start. So there's definitely oil stuck up in here. That's going to take time for it to blow out. Why is it pulsing? Well, we need to check the governor. I mean, this motor took a lot. And then we also need to pull the rocker covers off again. Alright, because we don't know if the valves are really adjusted right because the timing wasn't quite right. So we want to do that again. So we're going to pull the cover off. We're going to do the rocker covers again. And this is just going to be a matter of time. All the oil that got jammed up in there. But that's not going to keep, that's not why it's running like this. But let's take a look and see if we can do a little bit more to it. Alright, but the table worked out good, everything else is working good, and unfortunately this is not working good, and maybe it's at loss. Maybe this motor is just gack, but you know, let's see what happens. Okay, I just wanted to add to this video. So this is the ventilated block motor, and there's a lot of silt. I mean, it's like real sticky fine silt, and it's probably worn aluminum. Here's the piston. It looks pretty good. I don't see any galling or anything. Yeah, here's another one. This one was on the Husqvarna. Totally undersized, although they increased the shaft, because most of these have tiny shafts. This motor runs, but it won't make any power, and it just, no matter what carb you put on it, doesn't seem to matter. It runs like duty. It just sputters. Run, 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 run. It's just horrible. Still doing it. They're all like this. They're terrible. So what I'm going to do is, this is it, okay? I'm not screwing around with these anymore, okay? We're going to part these things out. This one is hopeless. I've been all through it, okay? You know, I had a whole video somewhere of this motor aggravating me, right? 2 days I went through motors like this, trying to see what would work, and combustion chambers, and polishing valves, and fuck this stuff. Excuse my French. Alright, keep the parts. For something comes in, it basically runs. It doesn't need to be removed. It's in beautiful shape. It just doesn't run. Okay, it runs like a dog. The dog that it is. It's a dog. These are doggy motors. Doggy. Okay, I've been cleaning up and doing stuff and throwing out motors and going through stuff, and that's all. It's part of this here. So this is what I turned up. As my daughter used to say when she was younger, Daddy, look what my got. Right? Well, look what my got. Okay, this Husqvarna, it's officially approved, Husqvarna 7021P, and it's on a crappy Husqvarna body. I think there's even somebody welded something down here. Look, weld down there, that looks like weld, right? And there's a little spray paint there. So we're going to heist the levis to the body, right? The wheels are crap, it's all beat, but maybe the motor's okay. Let's find out. And that Honda with the motor that's not right, okay, that came off of this. I took the cables and a few other things. The guy taped it. And he probably ran over something. And I don't know. This is what you get, okay? But I don't know. Maybe the wheels are good. We'll take the wheels. But we're going to heist the levis to these bodies. Maybe that cable works. I don't know. Does the cable work? Let's find out, right? If you keep the handles. Cable work? Yeah, cable works okay, right? So cable working good, right? So we'll take that. I always like to keep these. There's only got one on it, you know, but that's alright in case there's somebody missing one or it's broken. So let me get this apart. Alright, we're back. We're back the next day with this motor. Alright, now this is the Honda motor that came from a Husky. And again, the plug was loose. Alright. Common thing, people don't set these gasket plugs. The plugs with the gaskets on them. Alright, and that's what the plug looked like. So we got carbon buildup in there. I sprayed some of my magic juice inside. And let's just check to see if we have any spark. Put a better plug on it for test while we're cranking it. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I'll see it. Let's just do a quick compression test to see where we are. Yeah, we got smoke. Yeah, it's a lot of compression here. It's smoking out my gun, my screw gun. You see all the smoke? I don't know if you saw the smoke coming out of here, but so we're getting 100 pounds. That's beautiful. Okay? That's beautiful. We got some spark. I saw that. Going good. I don't see any early. 3250, 3220. Max RPM is 3100. We're fine. Alright, let me let it run some more. Alright, checked it all out. So we're going to take that key, okay, that we liberated earlier. Alright, and the only thing I can't really see right now is I can't get to the motor and turn it over, but so we've loosened up the set screw, and we're going to put the key in back there, and then we're going to run in. So the key goes back here, and if you have an issue with holding it in, you can put a little grease to help hold the key in, and that's not a bad idea. And you can put grease on the shaft as well. So first we're going to just grease the shaft up a little bit, just to, oil works too. Trying not to get it on the pulley, but that's okay, it'll burn off. Okay, that's on there. Now we can tighten the set screw. And it looks like the belt's in a good spot, just to make sure. Okay, and I sharpen up the blade nice. Got a nice blade. All right, so it's a lift blade with the two cutting actions on it, cutting surfaces. And just keep in mind that you want to dull down the blade a little bit. I changed this around because we had a very different setup in here, and so this came off of that scrap Tecumseh motor. This I don't remember what this came from, and I don't remember what this came from. So how do you know, Arch? Well, you can see what I did. All right, you want to get the pulley, you got the shaft size, pulley alignment. Over here, okay, I always say, you want to see the blade being about a half of an inch, all right, with my thumb, inside the deck, okay, at least. Okay. Anything in that range, you're all right. Too far up is probably no good because you'll never get a good height. Never have it sticking past the deck surface. All right, the battery died, but yeah, never let it stick out, because it's just super dangerous, and all you're gonna do is just mop the ground with the blade, and you won't create any suction because the blade wing needs to be in that tunnel. Now, another couple of things I like to do, we're gonna hit some of these points with a little lubricant. All right, we'll get that one down there. I'll get this one over here, and then before I put gas in it, because that gets it into the bearing and the seals, and just give it a minute, and we'll hit these when we flip it around the other way. All right, because we're going to get to lubricating now. We're going to take the wheels off and get in there and make sure they're clean and everything is okay. I'll show you what I did. I'll do it on the next one, but you take the cover off the seal and get in there and start cleaning with degreaser. All right, you got to get all the crook out, and then we're going to make it roll again. Okay, so we just want to get in there and pull that seal off, and it comes right out. Don't soak them too long. Okay. Get all the junk out of the way. Just soak them long enough to get them rinsed. Get them all out. These are made in China. You can get new ones if you want. But we're going to clean the dirt and the debris. We'll let them soak in this for a little while, and then we're going to work on going to blow them out with some brake cleaner or gum out to get them clean, dry them off. Okay, they'll be nice and clean, believe me. What I did was, after soaking it for a little while, just take a bolt, 2 nuts, and sandwich the center of the bearing, the sleeve, okay, in between the nuts, so you can grab the sleeve, and then you can just take the outside and rock it back and forth and keep lubricating it. So that works good. So that one doesn't need anything else other than a little more cleaning and then some grease. Let's do the other one next. And you can see just rocking it back and forth, and eventually you can put a little oil on that, but I think it's starting to move. And once it goes all the way, we'll re-clean it. There it goes. Right? It's just crud. Right? Let's wash it out again, and we're going to oil it, and we'll just put it to the side for today, because I'm done for today. We'll come back and we'll grease it tomorrow and close it up and put it back on the machine. Okay? I've just put a little oil on them. Okay. And let's just stick a little grease in there. This is just good bearing grease. And you're going to have to use your finger because you got to push it into the bearing. So just push it in both sides. It takes quite a bit, honestly. A good schmear. And then roll it in. Let's schmear them up. Just make sure you get it in there good. It takes quite a bit, honestly. You have to try to push it in with your finger. That's good. Now that's officially serviced, and properly so. Nothing wrong with these things. They'll run for a long time. With bearings like this, you know, pulleys like this, they need to be serviced, or they burn up and they'll ruin the belt. And you'll fry the belt and nothing will work right. After we do this, we have to adjust the cable. Alright, we're going to wipe this off, guys, and it's going to put it on. We're going to lube up the shaft that it goes on too a little bit because it's nasty. I just want to put a little bit of grease around these guys just because it's so dry. And you know, it'll get stuck, that those bearings will get stuck. If you don't, they won't go on, they'll get stuck on there. They don't really move on this surface, but you want, so the next guy can take them off. The bolts, you know, you can put a little bit of no-sees on, but you don't really want them to come out. So I would recommend just a touch of no-sees, so that somebody ever wants to replace it, they can, you know, these bearings, you know, because this machine could last a long time. Right now, so this one, so what we kind of want to do, we're going to reverse the process. So that went there. By the way, these belts are fine. That's the pressure washer. It tends to bite in. Okay, now this whole drive mechanism down in this area, at least, we don't know about the rest of it yet, but in this area, we've done the right thing. We've done our service. I've adapted a nice motor. Everything else is golden here. We're going to move to the rest of the drive mechanism just to make sure it's all good. Okay, let me grab my wrench, my power wrench. Okay, it's on there. Don't overdo it with these tools. Alright, they'll snap your junk. Alright, let me wipe up. We're going to turn this over. Like I said, we were lubricating these. We're going to do the other side. Alright, and we'll get to that. Let me just wipe off this table. And we're going to flip it. And we'll go to the next feature, which is going to be working on the adjusters, making sure that they work properly. And we want to get these wheels off and get a peek inside. And we also have to adjust the cable. Okay, so that's a couple of things. Okay, so you can see here, we're going to wipe that out, blow it out. This could be broken teeth. It looks like it. They are replaceable. I don't think I have anything like this. These are broken, but we don't know how bad that is, and that's because this gets jammed. All right, so we want to blow that out, wipe it out, and make sure we have plenty of lube on it. Well, let's get all the junk out from in here, and I just usually just blow them and wipe. Doesn't need a lot. Let's just see how bad it is. We'll put grease on, but first we're going to put oil. Well, you know, that's why I like to use my used motor oil, because it just works really well. And we're going to get it on the adjusters too. Even though the adjusters seem like they work fine, we're going to oil the adjusters. Why they broke, you know, it's hard to say. It could just be a cheesy design, but a lot of times it has more to do with when they get jammed. So we'll get a little grease on that too, but we want to get the oil in, and we'll put this underneath so we can lube it up good. And we'll get the grease on there the oil is important. Now, I recommend dry lube, but when your machine is new, but these machines aren't new, so we're going to put a little bit of grease, just a little bit, but more than the grease, we want to get that oil on it, because we want to make sure that it's going to coat everything. And we'll just put a little bit of grease on the shaft, all right, along with some oil, and then that should do it. And then, you know, it should be okay. We'll find out. It could get stuck, and that would break it. See, that one's fine. Okay, that one's fine. Now, one thing you could do is you could make it a freewheeler on one end, but I don't recommend it. This one's not as bad. This side here, we're going to clean this out, blow it out, and if you feel you want to get this a little cleaner, we could put this into the degreaser tank real fast and we'll wash this out. I'll be back. Okay, just cleaning the rear tires out in the degreaser tank. Let them soak while I went and grabbed the brake. And this is all cleaned out and lubricated. I'm just going to put a dab of grease. I got the adjusters, they're all good to go. Now the last thing would be is we're going to pull these off and lubricate them, make sure they all work. Because I've often said that you got to do that. Because these guys, people like to put them in their trunk or whatever, and they like to fold the handle down. And I've had it where those things don't want to come off, or they're stuck, or they strip out, and boy, is that embarrassing. And it's the worst time too, because you don't really want to be fixing it then. It just looks bad. I like to do a nice job on these things. I don't just flip mowers. I restore them, I rebuild them, I fix them. And you know, I probably do a better job than most guys. And well, you know, listen, if they want to flip them, they can get away with spending a little less time. That's fine. You know, personally, I think that's, the customer isn't getting anything that way, because they get as much as I get. You know, so for those that are in the know. Okay, so I got some grease on there, and it's, by the way, the oil, it's not just for the outside. The cap stands, bringing you around here, where that gear rides on that shaft, you're gonna either take that off and clean it good, or what I do is I put oil on it and make sure that they spin, because that's where they jam, is behind that E-clip. Some people call it a C-clip, but to me it looks more like an E. Right, so but it's in there on this shaft, and the gear riding on that shaft. You got to have some lubricant on that. So I like to oil them up real good. You can take them off and grease them, clean them and grease them if it's your machine. But I always oil that. It has to be, because it won't survive otherwise. When they jam up, that's why your gears break, the plastic gears, because these jam, and then the wheels, you know, or that jams, or the shaft itself. Okay, the wheel gets stuck on the shaft because there's no lubricant on that, and then the gear will keep turning and it'll bust every plastic gear on it. So let me get that cleaned up, and we'll get that cinched up, and we're going to do the adjusters for the handle, the thumb wheels, hand knobs, finger knobs, I don't know what you want to call them. And we'll check out a few other things, and then we're going to get it down and we're going to test it. Like I said, I was going to flip it over this way. Now, I don't often like to do that because you get so much stuff comes out of the carburetor, but you do need to, on this one especially, I do need to get to these oil points. Here, here, down and there, alright? That's important. And if you want to, you can take a little oil, okay, put it on that seal up here, alright? Get some oil on that as well. Now, I'm probably going to hit the belt, but that's okay. You're going to let them run for a little bit, because that seal, you know, all the dirt and all the crap that was on it, and then me massaging it, it's a good idea. So let's turn it the right way. Alright, this one, you use this pull starter, because this one has the keeper on the end and the extra length, but it's sticky as hell, and even though I cleaned it out, so get oil in this, even if you make a mess. And I like to go in through, down in here, that's where the spring is. the end of the spring that kind of latches on onto the outer ring. Get it in there. You know, he's thinking, well, it's plastic. Well, yeah, no. You know, it needs that extra bit.
Now we know that this engine is not free.
Yeah. All right.
So a small dollar.
So we're going to get
pay for insurance.
Try to get as much oil in there as I can. It makes a difference. It goes from not really wanting to work to working. All right, we're going to wipe it off. We're going to put it on. All right, let's just see. All right, choke on. Now to choke, I'm going to take the bail tie off. Let the bail return so we can put the choke on. It stays on until you can pull the pail back, and then it'll go. Let's see. Nice. And here's the bag for it. Okay, we got another bag. Got two bags. Two very nice bags. And I just wanted to see if there was another bag laying around. I'm going to go just take another peek. But what do you think, guys? All right? Nice job, huh? This one's going to be a top tier mower. That thing really bites the ground. Oh my God. Now I might even just take some of the adjustment off of it. Alright, just a little bit because it's really biting. And you just want to let it go for a little bit though, but I'm not going to cut the lawn with it. Alright, we're done, and I just want to check to see if there's another bag, and that's it. I'm very happy. It needed a bunch of things, you know. We needed another motor. It didn't work out with the series of the 550EXs that we were burning through. It just did not work out with those. By the way, it needs a handle to come up a little bit. It's too low for me, but it's adjustable. So those were a waste. And the other Honda, that just did not want to work out. That was a knuckle buster and a handbreaker. This one does. This one works great. It's got even the right stick. It was meant to be. This was meant to be. So this is all ready to go. That needs nothing but an owner now, and to be put up for sale. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to take some pictures of it. And of course the drive system needed to be cleaned up. And that's it. Okay, and I'm very happy. So stay tuned for the next one. I think next one's going to be Craftsman and Toros and whatever else I got going on, and some tech tips. But yeah, like and subscribe and comment, and let me know what you think of this guy, because this is a really nice machine and somebody's really going to like it. Alright, we'll be back. I'll see you guys later.